Hello everybody, it's Mike Levin, Tuesday, February 17th, out walking the big guy, and I almost want to just shoot this video to sort of capture the beautiful surroundings this morning with all the snow. I have plenty to talk about, but my thoughts are not exactly coherent right now, being at the end, the finish line, of a long stretch of days where I was staying up till 2, 3, and sometimes even 4 a.m. The interesting thing about working in GitHub is you can actually go in and see the histories. And I probably started poking around GitHub April of last year, 2014, and began using it in earnest on the Pipulate project when I began my independent consultancy, I guess around June of last year. And then I was really in conflict between doing the client work as a contractor and developing my tool, which really was of much greater interest and was, in my mind, made it possible for me to do all the SEO things that I do, especially with the way the field is changing so rapidly, and I have to conduct rapid experiments and audits and investigations of sites that are not so easy with the usual crop of tools. And so I went to work full-time as a director, and you would think, well, that would provide even less time. But no, the actual details of that job are that I got to work on my code every Friday. That's why I'm at this company, in addition to it just being a fabulous cultural fit, great people to work with, great clients. But then also, I was given a week to bear down on the project, and you can go and look at that in GitHub. You can see a rash of commits on Fridays, a slowdown during the holidays through December, and then a redoubling in determination to get this project done, starting about 2 or 3 weeks ago, where it goes from a light green or white to solid greens, 1 week, 2 week, and now going on 3 weeks. And so that of course means that one of my weeks of nearly solid green was at the office, and I'm causing probably a little bit of frustration there by not focusing on the client work as much as possible. But again, of course, this is one of those, tools versus the use of tools issue. Now I can't become I guess what Joel Spolsky, refers to as a astronaut architect, something along those lines, where people spend so much time solving every potential problem, they don't really focus on the problem at hand and fix it in some more immediate, obvious, simple way. But anyone who gets to know the Pipulate product will understand that it almost fades away and goes into the background. I'm coming to the motto or slogan that, life is too short to not collect the data where you use it anyway. In other words, spreadsheets. And Google Spreadsheets in particular is moving forward in leaps and bounds. There was this schism when docs.google.com became drive.google.com and supported a bunch more data types to encourage you to use it as your personal cloud drive, I guess, in sort of response to Dropbox. But they took the old URL, docs, and started experimenting with it, and it now has this wonderful mobile user interface that basically makes Office-type software, Word and spreadsheets, usable on mobile devices, phones. You almost feel like you're doing that in the desktop user interface with this big round add document button just right for a finger to tap, and the burger button, and everything larger, and an extreme removal of the emphasis on new tabs being created all the time. You typically work within the same tab, and everything's faster and smoother, and I'm just loving it. So despite my resistance to code a Google Docs dependency into Pipulate, I finally just succumbed and yielded to it, going, well, you know, everything has dependencies. If they didn't, you would be burning your computers from sand and not running it on a network. But we need the net connection for applications like Pipulate, because they're all about the interaction with other things, other services, other sites, other people. And dependencies are there. So Linux/Unix is a dependency, some sort of web browser for a user interface is a dependency, and yeah, why not? Google Spreadsheets as the everything having to do with data. It not only is where you collect data into, but it keeps track of state so that you can pick up and continue jobs that are partially complete, so that the web server itself that is executing the code has absolutely nothing special about it. You can nuke it, instantiate a new one. Everything that matters is on the Google Doc. And with OAuth 2 authentication, which I spent so much time with on the Pipulate project, it means that there's not even usernames and passwords on the server. So you can really nuke the server and just instantiate a new one, which plays right into Linux. And this is where I'll probably try and wrap up this video, because the concepts get really interesting and probably a bit too abstract, and I can talk about them really forever. But in short, Pipulate and Linux is a 1 + 1 = 3 proposition, because Pipulate is the killer app that everyone's going to want to use. Linux is the virtual machine that it runs on easily in a way that it can spread around and be passed around like a meme or a payload on the internet. And of course, it lets you collect and monitor metrics in the fields of social media. So people who use this are inherently people who broadcast things on the network. And so I have spent the past, I don't know, I guess since around June, winding the catapult using, you know, I guess my 20 years of learnings in all areas of technology and marketing to put together what I think is I guess what is analogous to the very best spell I can cast. I'm about to cast a spell, or cut the catapult ropes, or use whatever metaphor you want. And hopefully the videos that are coming are really going to clarify this, because it's one of those things where you can't really understand or grok it until you're seeing it in use. And I finished the work last night so that this thing can be in high, you know, production every day, a critical component of your daily workflow, you know, component, one of the tools in your toolbox. So I'll be putting it to use that way at the office starting today, and I'll put some videos together for you to be able to do the same, either kicking the tires on the Pipulate.com website, or with the Linux desktop server on your own computer, or creating your own cloud or dedicated hardware, Raspberry Pi, Qbox server for yourself. Thanks. Can't wait to produce those videos for you. See you soon, and don't forget to subscribe and refer someone in.